The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Napick and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Napick.
And you hear the music. That is the first of our Go Texan. This is our first Go Texan edition. Thank you for joining us on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. That's right. I'm your host, Bill Napick. We have a series of great shows ahead with a little bit of a Western theme as we are here in the fourth largest city, Houston, Texas. It is Rodeo City. There is no rodeo on earth like what we have going on right here in this city, and there's no show that has guests like we do. And our very own Roseanne Rogers, sales manager of Stewart Title, is right here. Roseanne, what a month and what a beginning to our Go Texan edition of shows.
I'm ready to rodeo, Bill. I mean, I'm telling you, I've got the boots on, but I have to say I kind of wear them all year round, not just during the rodeo Houston time. But you know that the Houston Livestock Show is big. When you're watching CBS This Morning, one of my favorite shows on Sunday morning, and we're part of the calendar listing.
Is that right?
They say Tuesday. Guess what's happening in Houston? It's the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, the largest rodeo shows ever. I was like, we are so on the map, not just here, but around the country. It's
Indeed.
So true.
And people arrive daily to be a part of the rodeo. And there's so many great things. And I think sometimes in some places people think that we're always wearing boots and we all have a horse in our yard. Maybe some of us do, but there's a great image of the Go Texan heritage that we have right here in Houston, Texas, and it's super fun. It's also super fun at Stewart Title year long, but especially when we have an excuse to make it more fun, like the rodeo.
I'm serious. Yeah. Well, we just came off of the barbecue cook-off. Of course, we had so many customers out there. It was fun, entertaining, the live music and walking around. And the weather couldn't have been better. You know, I was on the barbecue committee for 10 years. And, of course, this is the 1 year that I go off it after 10 years. And the weather is absolutely beautiful. I'm thinking to myself, no, wait a second. After all this, the 10 years I was on the barbecue committee, how many years that we was freezing and cold. And this weekend, it couldn't have planned it any better. It was perfect.
One of the things that comes to mind, too, is when someone has just moved to Houston, and I'm thinking of someone in particular that moved from, I think, Mississippi, it's always fun to initiate someone into some of the festivities we have here in Houston, Texas anyway, but especially during this season.
It just never gets old. It's a Houston tradition, but I just love being out there. Whether you go to the actual performer of the shows or I personally like the rodeo events. And that's what's so fun. I mean, bareback bronc riding is still my favorite competition ever, in addition to bull riding. But I just love being out there. It's just part of our culture. It's just great.
And in fact, as we talk about the scope of the rodeo, certainly here in Houston, Texas, it also re-energizes the real estate market, I think, especially for realtors, because they're such a big part. But I want to say this. I almost started the show by saying real estate matters coast to coast, because I've been getting emails from Culver City, California, Pennsylvania. Of course, that might be my relatives. I'm just thinking. But anyways.
Maybe a few, Bill, but I bet you some other people aren't doing that as well.
Even Dallas, Texas.
Well, hey, Houston is happening. That's what it's all about. Our real estate market is huge. We're phenomenal. Coming off a great January, February, and now heading into March. It's going to be phenomenal numbers. And I do remember that Dr. Ted C. Jones did tell us that back in January, didn't he, Bill?
Not that long ago. He
Not
sure
that long
did.
ago. He said, be ready. You want to put your house on the market, you need to do it. We were talking about interest rates. I mean, you can't listen to another radio station or turn on the television or even online where you're seeing that the interest rates refinance is going to be amazing. Of course, we at Stewart Title can do that as well, in addition to closing your house. But it's incredible and it's exciting. It's very exciting for us who live and breathe and love real estate the way that we do to see what's really happening in the market right now.
There are so many things going on in the news in general, and a lot of those things I think are going to, even some of the things that might be bad are going to affect the real estate market in a very interesting way. And we talk about Dr. Jones. It would be interesting to see what his updated forecast is, and we'll probably have him on the show sometime soon to do so.
Well,
but in the
you'll
meantime,
not only have
yes.
him on the show, but then, of course, of our offices, if you're in touch with your business development officers, we are going to have a recap in June and July, a 6-month update with Dr. Ted C. Jones on the economic forecast of where we're going into. So where we've been, where we are, and then where we're going to finish up the year. I think 2020 is going to be a pretty phenomenal year.
It is like we want to know what happens when we turn the page. It is like a sizzling novel already. It is crazy. In fact, you mentioned Dr. Jones. I will mention him. I was with a friend that I just met over the weekend, and she says, well, how's Dr. Jones? I'm like, everybody knows him, even people outside of
He's
the
a
real.
household name.
He is the eighth wonder of the
he's
real estate
amazing
world.
to me that he can actually make some of our business, which isn't very like fun and interesting. It can be rather boring, but it's like you're intrigued. I saw his presentation, I admit, probably 10 times. And each time he would change it up just a little bit, but it was good. It was interesting. And I also picked up, like anything in life, what do they say? 3 times you have to hear it, see it, think it, 3 times before it really sinks in. And I felt like I learned so much from him. And if you did miss that, if you missed it, hopefully you can catch our 6-month update that's coming up. But also follow him on Twitter, because he always is tweeting out different things. And also follow all your business development offices, because we have Facebook and Instagram and social media. And of course, our business development officers always get that latest information from Ted, and we give it to all of you.
A key word, as I always say, stay close to your steward title business development officer.
Yep.
And that rings true even more as we progress through the year, through these radio shows. And you are leading the team, Roseanne, in a tremendous way with the A-plus team of business development people all the time. How do you do it? And let's tell people about some of the things that are going on.
You got the best segues, Bill. I'm telling you, because I was just thinking to myself,
was up all night.
I was going to talk about, I'm so excited. We do have a new business development officer starting in Pearland and Friends with this week. That's just the tease. You're just going to have to wait, but she's amazing. So you already know it's a she, but that's all I'm going to say, that she's fantastic. I'm so excited. She's going to be such an asset to our team, and very, very, very excited what she can bring to us. But it's always bringing people with different backgrounds that can add to this team. The team is very diverse. It's great. We work collaboratively together, and it's just exciting for all of us to work together. So there's a lot of exciting things. And Pearland and Friends went, and then, are you ready for it, Bill?
Go.
Are you ready for it? We've got
Yes.
a big move coming up. Our Champions office, our business development officer up there, Lynn Riddle, we're moving.
That's
Not
right.
far, but we're moving. Moving on up to a higher, different floor and a different down the street. So we're going to...
So everybody's getting a raise.
Yeah, right. In a matter of speaking, they are.
We're going up.
Absolutely, we are. We're so excited about their new offices there. And then the grand opening is April 16th. So you'll be hearing, if you're in that area, live and work in that area, you'll be hearing all about the grand opening of the new Champions office. But we officially moved this month. So big month. It's a rodeo. It's a relocation month. It's a real estate matters month on anything that's going on.
So much going on. Before we close out the segment, anything else, Roseanne, we should know?
You know what? We need to get through rodeo. I hope the weather's great. But then, what is that thing that we have every single year? That season.
I think they call it hurricane
Yeah, that
season.
hurricane season's going to be right after rodeo. So after we fully embrace rodeo as much as we can, we have to gear up for rodeo. So be looking for our Don't Get Rocked by a Hurricane presentations throughout the city, where we'll update you on anything and everything that's going on that you need to know in the real estate market, that we can make sure that we're prepared, because where we live, that's always it's never going to go away for us. So we have to make sure that we're embracing it and taking the hurricane season by storm. Here we go. There we go.
And if you want to know anything real estate, wherever you are in the Houston area and even beyond, stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. They may have answers to the questions, or they'll find out.
They can, and they can always go to Stewart.com. If you're in an area and you're like, I'm not really sure who my business development officer is, I want to know more about the escrow officers and the team there, you can go to Stewart.com and just punch in where you are. Cypress, Champions, Galveston, League City, you name it.
There you
Katy,
go.
Interloop, you name it. We're all over. We have 36 units throughout the city of Houston. So
Super awesome.
We've got you covered.
That's right. Stewart.com. Roseanne Rogers. Thank you, Roseanne. We're going to come right back with even more, right?
Yeah, absolutely we are.
I remember that old Frio River where I learned.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Yes, indeed. That music gets us in the mood for our first edition of Real Estate Matters, Go Texan edition. And now we have Linda Jordan. She is with Keller Williams. Linda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. I'm excited to be here.
We are excited to have you. And let's tell people about your office and also the location geographically. And for people that are listening, a lot of people hear the show outside of Houston, but those we have are bursting at the seams in every direction. Let's tell people where you are located.
My office is physically located at Westheimer Parkway and Peak Road, just inside of 99 in the great little area of Katy, Texas.
A booming area, as we could say about all of them, almost.
Yes.
So, as far as the marketplace right now in your office, how long has that Keller Williams office been there?
Oh, gosh, we've been there between 15 and 20 years. I've been with the office for just a little over 6.
Wow. And so from a growth standpoint, a lot of things have happened in those 15 years in that area.
Yes.
So what's going on right now, let's say, in terms of activity? And for those that are outside of the Houston area, we're talking about west of the city. Mm-hmm. Maybe not even the far west, but it's west, we'll say, right?
Exactly. West of Houston. Well, obviously, the Katy area is driven heavily by the school district. So we have tremendous growth out on the west side, a lot of it driven by the energy corridor, a lot of it driven by the school district, and a lot of it driven just by development. The connection of 99 between I-10 and 290 has opened up an entire world out there from a development building standpoint. So lots of new development going on, new builders, new subdivisions on that north side that was pretty much rice fields.
And people, as far as homes go in that area, it's safe to say that you can find an existing home. And as you mentioned, builders, there's some beautiful homes and beautiful neighborhoods for a brand new home.
Absolutely. You've got everything from Cane Island, which is your heavy duty resort living environment, a lot of social encouragement there with the residents, things that are kind of out of the ordinary, because most of the time we think of the subdivisions out in Katy's kind of built around children and the schools. And so we're getting a little bit of flavor of things that are outside of that are going to offer socialization and opportunities for all ages and stages, if you will.
As far as a super school district, Katy has been renowned for having a great school district year after year.
Yes.
And is it still staying strong as far as the quality of the school?
It is incredibly strong. The schools are very desirable. You have families that come in from literally all over the world, and they know that they want a particular high school or a particular middle school based on either academics, athletics, things that their student is interested in. Very, very strong in the college prep.
As far as real estate goes, is when you approach your profession, Linda, give us an idea what you think about. Do you do it geographically? And I think you even have a certain nuance you're going to tell us about as well of how you handle real estate. But let's tell us how you approach your profession.
Typically, when we are looking, when we're looking to help buyers or sellers, we're kind of looking at what's going on in their life. We're kind of taking a look at them holistically. In Katy specifically, I like to say Katy's a 4-generation town. And so you have a lot of people that move to Katy, not just for the schools, but they want to be close to adult children and grandchildren. They also want to be close to medical, which Katy offers all of that. So I like to say you go to a Friday night football game and you'll see all 4 generations there, from the players on the field to the grandparents and coming in wheelchairs and everyone in between.
Well, I will tell you this. I do not live in Katy, but I almost do. I'm like a block away from where the line is. But one of the things I notice in that area versus I used to live at Post Oak and Woodway, at night it's actually quiet sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine in some of these areas that we're talking about in Katy, Cane Island, and some of the other developments, it has a nice evening sound to it.
Yes, it does. It does. There's a nice vibe. There's restaurants, there's social activities, but then there's also just the quietness of the neighborhood and the sort of small town feel that still remains in Katy.
And Linda, you were talking about a niche in the market that you are addressing. Let's talk about that.
Yes, I am a seniors real estate specialist, so 65% of my business comes from what we call the 50-plus market. 50-plus can be anything from someone purchasing a second home, maybe a vacation home. It could be someone who is moving to be closer to adult children for support as they see from long-term care, and everything in between, even investment properties. I had a lady recently purchase an investment property after her husband had passed away. She wanted something to do, and she wanted to be a landlord, and she's knocking on the door of 80. So seniors real estate manifests in multiple different directions, but we're there to, again, look at them holistically, because we're going to work with their attorneys, we're going to work with their financial advisors, and we're going to work with their CPAs, because we want to manage their finances, so to speak, from the standpoint of what's coming in and what's going out, so that they're not negatively impacted. Again, a holistic approach to taking care of that segment of the population.
So in serving this market, I'm guessing you developed a certain set of skills to help these people.
Yes. I have a designation that's offered by the National Association of Realtors. So we spend time doing that from an education standpoint. We also spend time working and speaking in the community. So at the various independent living, 55-plus apartments, all the way to assisted living and memory care, we give presentations, and they open that up to their families that have inquired for their loved ones, and to kind of see what that looks like. Last year, 39% of all transactions involved one person in the transaction that was 50 or older. So it's a huge segment.
Very interesting. In fact, this morning I was at McDonald's and I ordered the senior
coffee. Yes.
I mean, that's a super deal. So
absolutely.
You must be talking about me. I may need to have to talk to you after this show.
Exactly.
Don't tell anybody, though. I really look like I'm 40.
We'll keep that on the down low.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So what are some of the other things going on in the marketplace out there in beautiful Katy? And it is the West, no doubt, because if you keep on driving, you'll hit San Antonio. And if you drive even further, you'll hit Laguna Beach, California, right there on the 5 and the I-10. So
exactly. Well, what we're seeing, and a lot of this is straight from the HAR press release, post January, which January was kind of a mind blowing month, market wise. Single family home sales up 14.3%, the greatest January sales volume hike in 7 years. Average sales price is up to $291. And we were talking about interest rates earlier, lowest interest rates since October of 2016. Low unemployment rate of 3.6. All of those factors combine for a very, very robust market. And it's not even just buying and selling, it's the refinance that we talked about earlier.
Well, I used the example of the marketplace in Houston, Texas, like a novel where we are turning the page. There's a surprise around every corner. And as we're perched right here at the beginning of the year still, and look ahead, it's going to be very exciting. And who knows what's going to happen next, right? Exactly.
We're in an election year, so that can tend to affect things later on in the year as we get closer to that. But what we're seeing for the spring is definitely a robust market, and the relocation segment as well as the senior segment and just the regular run-of-the-mill mom and pop kind of real estate.
Once again, like a novel, so many plot twists and subplots. I'm excited to be around this time of year. Let's tell people, Linda, how they can reach out to you, whatever age they may be.
Exactly. You can reach me at 713-826-5145. You can also reach me at linda@strategicmovesrealty.com.
Like the chess piece.
Exactly.
We want to make moves where we know in advance, maybe 2-3 moves ahead. Give her a call, Linda Jordan, at 713-826-5145. You hear the Western music? That's right. Thank you, Linda. We're going to come right back with even more on Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. Welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. I am your host, Bill Nampick, and now the company is Real Simple Energy, and we have Trent Crow and Paul Parrish right here to talk about Real Simple Energy. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having us.
How are you?
Super awesome. So let's tell people first, give us an idea of your company, whoever wants to go first. Tell us about your company.
Sure. Real Simple Energy is an online electricity shopping website that completely changes the game for any person in Texas who buys electricity in a deregulated area. They can use our site, completely free search engine, and if they use our service, they always have the cheapest electricity rate at all times.
That's a big statement, Trent, right there. First of all, any person in Texas that's buying electricity, right? Mm-hmm. And you're saying they'll get the lowest rate.
That's right.
That's awesome. How do you do that?
Yeah, a really big database of electricity plans and doing a whole lot of math behind the scenes so our customers don't have to think about it.
Well, right there, it's a super convenience. And as we think about the real estate world right now, real estate professionals that are out there, they need to know about your company.
Absolutely. It's a real value add they can give their customers. Things have changed. In 2001, electricity deregulated in Texas, and ever since then, it's kind of been the Wild West where people had to shop for electricity using one of the 80-plus electricity providers out there. And usually, if you talk to anyone who's lived in Texas at all, they'll tell you they feel like they've been taken advantage of by electricity companies or they didn't get a very good deal, whatever. So technology has made things change. And so now people can use sites like our site, our search engine, our service, and they don't have to think about this anymore. So not only do we save them a ton of money, we also save them a ton of time.
Well, at the very least, they walk away not knowing if they got a good deal. Because recently, maybe a year and a few months ago, I renewed my provider of energy. And when I started looking at the plans, the other plans, the different extra charges, I had no idea because they say one thing, then you add this other. It's like super confusing. Sounds like you're there to simplify the process.
That's right. So we cut through all that. So all those charges you can't figure out, we cut through that in less than 1 second on our search engine. So here's a staggering number. 96% of Texans who live in a deregulated area overpay for their electricity. And that costs the average Texan over $500 a year. So to use a service like ours is truly a no-brainer. It's how I would do it. So a quick background on me. I used to work on the wholesale side of the business. I used to trade energy derivatives and optimize power plants and stuff like that. And I had trouble finding a power plan for my own house. I couldn't figure it out. It was too complicated. It took me 3 hours to do stuff. So this is one of the reasons why we founded this company. And we made the product Paul and I made the product that we wanted. As industry professionals.
Well, the other thing, I don't know about other cities in the United States, but certainly we're very sensitive to our energy costs because it's so hot here. Those air conditioners run all the time, let alone pools, pumps, heaters, all those things. So we have to be mindful of how much we're spending or not spending on electricity.
Absolutely. Yeah, most people don't realize how much they are overpaying for electricity.
Well, Paul, let's tell people, if someone wanted to know more about your company and how they get started with your plan, what should they do?
Very simple. RealSimpleEnergy.com. RealSimpleEnergy.com. It's a really simple website. You enter your zip code. We're going to ask you 4 or 5 really simple questions, depending if you're leasing, you're buying, you own or rent. Doesn't matter. There's a solution if you're in a deregulated market in Texas. And you're going to have those real-time offers that day in the market, totally free, on our site. So there's transparency, there's call to action. You sign up right then and there. You pick your 6-month, you pick your 12-month, you pick your green plan, even if you want green. The prices are going to be the lowest publicly available plans the market has to offer on that day. Always.
Now, the other thing I remember is that it seems like costs, like everything else, gas and so forth, they change over time. Would that be correct?
Correct.
Absolutely.
So, and I don't know, I haven't followed the history, but do you have any idea, like last year at this time, were costs up or down, or are we getting better deals now, or the same?
Yeah, no, great question. Electricity prices were slightly lower this time last year, 12 months ago. We publish a first of its kind quarterly electricity rate index, okay, that maps where the absolute lowest 12-month rates in Texas have been. And we send this out to any customer we have, any lead we have. And so every quarter, a lot of your listeners could get this index and they would be able to stay and to keep themselves informed on what electricity rates are doing. But this also helps us to make sure that our customers stay aware of when we automatically renew them, because that's how our service works, is once someone signs up, they only sign up one time. And so when their contract expires, we automatically renew them in whatever cheapest available plan is at that time. And because they get our quarterly index, they always know what to expect. There's never any surprises.
On the front end, when they choose a plan or when you choose a plan for them, one of the decisions I remember I had to make was when I found this particular plan, I had to say, do I want to go a year or 2 years? So in a way, in my mind, I was betting on, well, I think costs are going to go up. So I locked it in 2 years. What about the lock-in part? Do you do that for them, or how long do you lock it in if you do?
Yeah, so we know people like choice. So on our search engine that's completely free, we offer 6-month and 12-month plans only. That's where the best deals live. Any other term usually doesn't have as good of a deal. The only reason longer term plans are cheaper is because the wholesale market expects electricity prices to fall in Texas for the foreseeable future. So it's a matter of simple averages. The longer you lock in, then the slightly cheaper the rate will be. But if things hold true like we think they will, then it's better to lock in 6 months or 12 months at a time and ride the trend down.
Sounds like you're kind of saying if you sign up for the 12-month plan and you're there ready to renew it for them, they're still going to get another good deal when the 12 months goes away.
Absolutely.
You roll them right over.
That is the idea, right? That is the idea. Of all the industry professionals that I know who trade this for a living, that's how they do it.
Well, Paul, what do you think? This is awesome.
Yeah, I think so. We obviously got together a few years ago, with my background in the retail energy world and Trent's on the wholesale energy world. We came together seeing eye to eye on this huge opening of customers basically being taken advantage of. So our platform is going to basically, we hope, be the last energy buying decision a consumer will have to make in the state of Texas. And when we mean that, when we say that, we want to be the trusted brand, if you will. If there's ever a question on, I got to buy a rental house, or I live in this house now, or I want to move to Dallas or in West Texas, our site, you plug in your zip code, it's going to tell you if it's available to choose your power provider. If it is, answer the questions. You will get your results right there within 3 to 5 minutes, and the rest is up to the consumer. Now, our background and the 20 years of data we have in the state of Texas show you ride the 6 and 12 months market, you're going to be in a better position, number one, on just overall expense on your power buying. The other side of this is we're always early when it comes to renewals. We are your full-time energy manager for your home, believe it or not. So it's a lot of work on our end. We want it to be simple for the consumer.
And quickly, it sounds like you're helping not just residential people, but commercial as well.
Absolutely.
And as far as real estate professionals, they need to know about this because it can help them serve their clients in a more convenient way, and easy is kind of the key here, right?
Simplification, like you said. So it's commercial, it's construction, it's residential developers, it's assisting the realtors with their clients. This is an easy point to go to website, realsimpleenergy.com. We can't make it simpler than that. Again, it's a very fast read. If there's any questions, you chat us live on the site. We get back to you very quick. We pride ourselves on customer service.
And the website again is?
realsimpleenergy.com.
We are talking with Paul Paris and Trent Crow. Guys, let's tell them the website one more time.
realsimpleenergy.com.
It's that simple. Thank you so much for being on the show. We're coming right back with even more. Thank you, guys.
Thank
you.
And now we have Kristen Bacon with RE/MAX Premier Properties, and we will call her Kiki Bacon just for the fun of it, right, Kiki?
Yes, thank you. Good morning.
That is a great name and a great abbreviation to Kristen. I love that. Let's tell people you're with RE/MAX, and let's tell people the area of Houston that you are working on.
I'm inside the Loop in the Museum District, specifically also Greater Third Ward area. And basically that encompasses anywhere from 45 all the way to 59 and the east and west side of 288. So that would be the actual museum district where all the museums are. Children's Museum, Museum of Fine Arts, Holocaust Museum are all right by our office, all the way to 45 going past TSU and the University of Houston. That's where most of our sales are.
And when we think about the market, again, expanding in every direction, it is expanding from the center, and you're kind of in the center of the city. For those that are listening afar, the museum district is inside the Loop.
Yes, it is, and we are in the center. And obviously we sell all over Houston in the greater Houston area, all the way out to the Woodlands, Sugarland, which is one of the fastest growing suburbs. But our specialty is definitely resell homes inside the Loop. And that's just simply because we have been in that area for 7 years. Most of our team is from that area. I grew up in 3rd Ward, and so it's what we know very well.
And like any city, there are certain parts, unlike, let's say, the far west, like Katy, there are so many areas that are being redeveloped with brand new construction and all sorts of new commercial properties. If someone is listening from anywhere, but especially if they're listening from afar, describe the area. We've already said that there's a lot of museums, and most cities have some sort of museum center, I guess. But let's paint a picture of what it's like right now and how exciting that real estate market is.
Sure. So what's unique about Houston's Museum District is it's not just the Museum District. It's the Medical Center. It's the University District. It is the Park District. And that area encompasses the Houston Zoo, Herman Park, Miller Outdoor Theater, Rice University, Texas Southern University, the University of Houston, West University, which is actually its own city, but is about the size of a neighborhood. And it's amazing because what you have all in this one little district are these historic homes, new construction homes, townhomes, high-rises, top-notch schools. I mean, schools that are highly rated and known all over the country, hospitals like MD Anderson, and also the rail. We have the train that's running right by us every day. It runs right by our office. It runs by our schools. It runs into the medical center and then around back towards the universities. So the district, the museum district, is kind of the heart of the city.
It really is, and for those that are listening, wherever, there's a lot to do in Houston. Oh yeah, we talk right, Kiki?
Yes.
I mean, we talk about the rodeo and all those things, but just on a regular day, we have all these things that you've mentioned that people can enjoy in this super city.
They do. And if you happen to live in the museum district, it's easy to just hop on the train and head towards the park. A lot of people go play golf on their lunch break. Some people have lunch breaks that long, yes. Some people might head over to... I bet
they don't go back to work. Some of them, I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Some of them probably. You can stop in Rice Village, which has all of the shopping and lunch. I go to Rice Village quite often to grab lunch with a client and then head back to the office. And I actually live in the museum district, and my children all go to school in the museum district. So it's very convenient for me to work, play, sleep, all in the same area.
It's right there.
Right there.
Give us an idea of the trends that might be happening as you see. A lot's already gone on there, but what are you seeing, let's say, play out for the rest of the year and maybe even however far you can look?
Well, I'm sure you know that Houston is one of the fastest growing cities in the country right now. It's, I think, the 21st fastest growing city, and Houston is the 5th fastest growing city in Texas. And so what that means is that we have an explosion in our population. And what I see happening is a lot of people moving into the city are going to the suburbs because that's where their companies are. And what that is causing is for a lot of people in the suburbs to come back to the city because it's getting so congested that people now don't want to commute 30 to 45 minutes every single day. Actually, it ends up being 2 hours when you commute to and from. And so people are wanting to live where they work. And what we're seeing right now is an influx of people coming back from the suburbs because they work downtown, they work in the medical center, and they want to be close to where they work so that they're not stuck in their car for hours every day. And what that has caused is a lot of new construction inside the Loop, especially in the museum district. And the new construction has caused prices to jump. And so last year and also the month of January, we saw more resale homes selling between $500,000 and $700,000 than we'd ever seen. We had more buyers in that price range than we'd ever seen before in Houston. So people are buying more luxury homes now because when you think about a luxury home, you're thinking about homes that are typically over $450,000, which is what's mostly inside the Loop.
If you and I were doing a whole show on things that trigger a real estate transaction, that's one of my favorite ones, is that people that have been out in the suburbs are coming back. So there's always so many things that are happening, so many dynamics. They're going out, they're coming back in.
Right.
And many times, if not all the times, it's because they want to reduce and have more time in their lives than being on the road.
Number one reason, yep.
Heck yeah, right? So let's tell people, as far as trends that you see in real estate, give us a word on some of the things that you're seeing out there in the marketplace.
In Houston specifically, the trend I'm seeing is people restoring buying older homes and making them new again, people rehabbing and remodeling. Again, it goes back to what we were saying about people moving back into the city, but also I think that culturally, HGTV has had a huge influence on people's choices in their homes. Not everyone wants the new construction, kind of as I call them, big box home anymore. A lot of people are more interested in buying historic homes in historic neighborhoods where you may not get as big of a house, but you get a big lot. And they're just either adding up or just remodeling. And they're very happy with that. And the other trend I'm seeing is that buyers are still going up in their price range. The interest rates are still very low, and that is definitely a trend. It will go back up again, but right now they are still very low because the elections are coming up. Typically when elections come up, interest rates do stay low because no one knows what's going to happen. And the low interest rates are giving people a lot more wiggle room in their price range. So typically where someone might say, oh, my budget is $350, now people are saying, well, we can go up to $450, $500. Because those interest rates are so low. It gives them that extra $500 a month.
So many factors are at play. And, of course, you have a built-in advantage, I think. How can people forget your last name? Right? Let's say you talk to someone about a listing presentation and they see 2-3 other realtors. They'll say, what about Kiki Bacon? We can't forget Kiki.
Brings the bacon home. Brings the home to bacon. We could do that either way.
That's right. I think you probably have a whole list of different things.
Of slogans.
And that's a great idea. I kind of wish my last name was Bacon, but it's not. Before we close the segment, Kiki, what else would you like people to know?
I would just like for people to know that RE/MAX Premier, and we are the Premier Properties Group, specializes in resale, new construction, and investment opportunities, not just inside the Loop, but all over the greater Houston area. And we've got a great team of not only agents that we work with, but also vendors all over Houston so that we make the process seamless for you.
And how can people reach you?
You can either go to my website, which is, well, actually, I have several websites, but the easiest is probably going to be Facebook, which is RE/MAX Premier Properties, or my website, thepremierpropertiesgroup.com, or you can just call me at 281-450-8250.
Kiki Bacon at 281-450-8250. You can call her, right?
Yep, call me.
And they won't forget you. Thank you so much, Kiki, for being on the show. We're coming right back with even more. We continue. We roll on as the wagon wheels just move along, the horses trot along. I say it all the time, and I'll say it again. Stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer, but I'm going to expand that. Stay close to anybody that works at Stewart Title, especially business development officers, radio hosts, and escrow officers. There's an expansion right there. We now have Michelle Racinos. She is a business development officer in that very sweet office in Sugar Land. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill.
It's a great place. How sweet it is, right?
Yep, that's right.
Let's tell people just a quick word, and you brought one of our escrow officers with you. So let's tell people if someone wants to close their transaction right there in Sugar Land, and I know they do, what should they do?
Call me, 346-350-9756, or my email address is michelle.racinos@stewart.com.
And the phone number again is?
346-350-9756.
That's awesome. And Michelle, people need to stay close, not just to close real estate transactions, but you have so many events going on like our whole team does around the city. So that's going to be awesome. They can reach out to you for that, right?
Yep, that's correct.
That is cool. Let's tell people you brought Julie Ann Cope with you, right?
I did.
That was a great idea. A stroke of genius. Julie Ann, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
And
Glad to be here.
And you are a real live escrow officer, right?
I am.
Let's tell people some of the things that they may need to think about when they're coming in for the real estate transaction to close with you.
Our location, we are right there on 59. So Missouri City, we have Sugar Land, Richmond, Rosenberg, Katy. So we have locations all over, but Sugar Land office is where I work and where Michelle works, and we are very excited. I am newly going into resale department, and I am being marketed by Michelle, and I'm very excited for the new challenge and the new chapter in my life.
And you've been with Stewart Title, though, quite a few years. Is that correct?
2007, yes.
Holy smokes.
Yes. I came out of banking and went into the title industry and have just stayed there and loved it.
There you go. So people are now compelled to go to our Stewart Title Sugarland office right there off of 59. And what's the exit? I forget.
Dairy Ashford.
It's too simple, right, Michelle?
Very.
Stay close to your Stewart Title business development officers and even sometimes escrow officers. And guess what? We have another business development officer here right now. Her name is Rochelle. Kind of rhymes with Michelle, but Rochelle Sula. Rochelle, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. Good to see you.
It's super. And you brought Linda Jordan here today. That is awesome, right?
Yes, one of my rock stars.
In fact, she is located not too far from Stewart Title, where you're at.
Right down the street.
A lot of stuff's going on right there in Katy, Sugarland, and everywhere else.
It is all the time, never stops. Something different every day.
And our business development people like you and Michelle do have events that happen. Do you have anything coming up that you, in the next couple of weeks, that you want people to know about? Maybe just to wet their whistle?
Actually, a Stewart event that we are excited about. I actually do market in Katy and Fulshire. So we are currently planning our crawfish event. We look forward to that one every year.
People love that.
We love it.
In fact, you're not the only. I'm thinking about even our memorial office. They have a crawfish thing too, or at least they used to. So that is crawfish season is upon us.
It is.
And we're poised and ready.
We are ready too. We're so excited. So keep an eye out. We'll be doing one in Katy and in Fulshire. And if you need to reach me, Bill, I'm happy to share those dates with you. Call me or text me 281-222-7601.
Again,
281-222-7601.
From rodeo to crawfish to who knows what, right?
That's right.
Very nice. Rochelle Sula, we're going to come right back with even more. That was your Stewart Title Associate. Few minutes. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, we're coming back. Welcome back. I'm almost ready to sing some kind of Western song, but we know this. Real Estate Matters would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance, with a focus on real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers. Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. And yes, continuing his series that began last week, John Bramlett is here. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Nice to be here.
We are continuing the series.
Yes, we are.
With our second edition, and what will we call that?
Second edition will be cyber liability. We'll talk about cyber liability insurance.
So relevant. Let's go. So last week it was E&O, now cyber liability. Here we go.
So last week was E&O. So a good way to remember E&O is think about it in terms of a medical malpractice for a business owner, real estate broker. So it provides professional liability coverage that protects the insured against liability from committing an error or omissions in the presence of professional duties. So that's what E&O does. Today we're going to talk a little bit about cyber liability. And cyber liability covers the costs associated with the breach of data you store or have access to. So the key on the cyber liability coverage is, in the real estate world, Bill, as you well know, our broker friends have access to tons of commercial and personal information from their clients. And it's important that that information is protected if they are hacked or their systems are breached. So a cyber criminal breaches their email and gets into their system, or breaches their website and gets into the system. This insurance provides some coverage for the costs associated with that breach of data that you store or have access to.
That is unbelievable. And we hear it all the time, all the publications, TV shows, all these things. The data is such a gold mine for these would-be bad actors that are out there. That's what they look for. And many times the compromise happens by stalking emails. And the email is many times, not their only, but one of the doorways into our information.
Absolutely. The email is a critical doorway into that information. And there are a couple things that are really scary about this. One is the IBM has told us in a recent study that they did that it takes about 197 days just to know that you've been breached. 197 days, so over 6 months to know that you've been breached, and then another 69 days to contain the breach. So if you haven't done anything to mitigate yourself or protect yourself. And if you don't have the coverage, if something like this happens, then there can be some dire consequences. The other thing that we've come across that is really scary, and that the friends at the FBI and their Internet Crime Group has told us, is that in 2018, there were 11,300 U.S. victims of real estate wire fraud reported. The combined loss was $149 million. Cyber Ventures projects the damages related to cybercrime will jump to $6 trillion annually in 2021. So that's next year. So all cybercrime next year damages should reach somewhere in the neighborhood of $6 trillion next year. So you can see the importance of having that protection.
There's no doubt about it. And they can reach out to you, Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett, or anyone on the team to find out what it costs and some of the plans that you will tailor for them to help reduce this risk. Absolutely. We're a full-service insurance brokerage. We do have quite a bit of experience working on the cyber coverage. A couple things to keep in mind, whether you're speaking with us or another insurance advisor, would be make sure that the coverage has some form of forensics investigation. So to determine where the cause took place and what was the effect of the cause. So to determine, was it your fault? Was it your firm's fault? So that's important. Litigation expenses associated with the breach, that's important to have. Crisis management expenses. Do you need PR coverage? Do you need to have coverage to help you notify companies and individuals that you were breached? Do you need to provide credit monitoring for some of your customers because of a breach? That's where the crisis management expenses could come into play. And then business interruption expenses. Has this caused you some business interruption? And the policy sometimes will then allow coverage for some of that loss of income. And as you're describing this, John, it dawns on me that real estate brokers out there listening, not just here in Houston, Texas, but you're serving people all over the United States. They may not even know at this point what questions to ask, but when they call you, you'll help them right through it. Absolutely. We take the time to make sure that our clients are properly insured. So we will ask the questions to determine what makes sense for them. And what's the best coverage that they could have from a cyber perspective and any other business insurance needs that they may have. Because it would seem to me decade after decade, certainly it's the real estate broker is no stranger to E&O insurance. However, this last decade, maybe more specifically these last 5 years, the cyber policies have entered the picture in a more prominent way. It really has. And the other thing to keep in mind from a cyber perspective is the real estate industry is targeted. Because if you think about it, on the broker side, our real estate broker partners handle tons and tons of both commercial and personal information. On the title side, then you start looking at the funds aspect. So you combine those two, the data that comes that both entities have, plus the funds that a title and attorney agents would have, you can see why the cyber criminals are targeting our industry. Unbelievable. And John, if someone wants to reach out to you, they can call me at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. Or reach me at stewartinsurance@stewart.com. If they're east of the Mississippi, 866-798-2827. And if they're west of the Mississippi, 866-798-2827. And if they're leaving the rodeo, 866-798-2827. It's that simple. Thank you so much, John Bramlett. And now she is back as we wind up the show. Linda Jordan, Strategic Moves Realty, we will say. Linda, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Bill.
Here we go. Before we close out the show, let's tell people, what else would you like them to know about your company or anything else going on out there?
Well, we feel like every move begins with a strategy. So that's
or it
sort of
should.
It should. It absolutely should. And part of our strategy, as we mentioned earlier with our 50-plus market, we rattled off a few statistics. This is the last one here that we have that I think is kind of eye-opening. 1 in every 8 occupied dwellings will hit the market in the next 10 years as the boomers pass away. That's 9 million homes nationwide.
Let's say that again.
1 in every 8 occupied dwellings will hit the market in the next 10 years.
Interesting.
And it's as the boomers pass away. And of course, we've watched boomers for many, many years as far as their buying and selling habits on everything. So again, it's a large segment that we're going to watch and how that impacts our inventory in our market over just the next 10 years.
That is absolutely fascinating. Linda, how can people reach out to you?
They can reach me at 713-826-5145.
Thank you so much, Linda Jordan, Strategic Moves Realty. And now, bringing home the bacon. I guess I can say that, right, Kiki?
I love it.
There you go. Kristen Bacon, also known as Kiki Bacon. Before we close things out, what should we know?
Just remember that getting inside the loop is never going to get any easier with all of the construction going on, Rice University's new campus, Texas Southern's new campus, U of H expanding, the medical center expanding. Now is the time to buy. Interest rates are low and land is scarce inside of the loop. So please call us if you are thinking about moving back inside the loop, whether it's new construction, resale, or even if you're thinking of investing.
So when should I buy?
Now.
It's that simple. Thank you so much. Let's tell them your number.
281-450-8250. That's 281-450-8250.
And now's also a time to think about the energy. We're getting ready for summer. We want to make sure we have paying the right price, the lowest price for the best service right here. Here they are, the guys with Real Simple Energy. Hey, guys, before we close things out, let's remind them of the website.
RealSimpleEnergy.com.
Is that simple?
RealSimpleEnergy.com.
Yep.
I thought, is there an echo in here? Yeah. There you go. East of the Mississippi. It's still, anyway. But you're taking care of people right here in Texas, right?
Absolutely.
All over Texas?
Correct.
All deregulated areas. That's right.
Correct. And if they have a question, if there's any math that needs to be done, they can upload a bill. Big green button on our website. Upload a bill. We'll do the analysis for you. We'll send it back fairly quickly. It makes the sign-up process even that much easier. Or more simple.
Super awesome. Thank you, guys. One more time, the website is
RealSimpleEnergy.com.
And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. Yes, Real Estate Matters, coast to coast. And Go Texan Edition. This is our first of our Go Texan editions. And if you'd like to hear this show again and again, or at least maybe one more time, or go back to any of our 313 shows, simply go to Stewart.com/Houston. That's Stewart.com/Houston. Yes, all the shows are there. In fact, it's even great reading when you go to that site to see the many guests and the guests that have been on the show. They are interesting, the who's who in real estate right here in Houston, Texas, and sometimes far beyond. Your host, Bill Nampick, right here. Thank you for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. We'll see you next week. Yes, it will be another Go Texan edition. Stewart.com/Houston. Thanks for listening.